Welcome to the Sankofa Sisterhood Writers Retreat. I am Alicia Anabel Santos, one of the founders and curators of this magical yearly writers retreat.
Sankofa first opened its doors in May 2015 at our first Sankofa, which was held in the Catskill Mountains of New York during Memorial Day weekend of that year, where writers were welcomed by Josely Castillo Fuertes and myself. The word Sankofa comes from the Akan tribe in Ghana, which translates to, "It is not taboo to fetch what is at risk of being left behind." Sankofa teaches us that it is right to go back in order to bring something forward. And this thing that we are being called to go back for is exactly what keeps writers returning to the Sankofa Sisterhood Writers Retreat. 2016, nourishing the writer, nourishing the soul. The question that year was, how can we nourish ourselves, our stories? Where do we find inspiration? How do we keep writing? What are some of the challenges we face as women of color? And what are some of the writing opportunities available to women who look like us? 2017, self-care as a form of resistance. The late Audre Lorde says, "Caring for myself is not self-indulgence. It is self-preservation, and that is an act of political warfare." The theme that year was in response to what was happening politically. During times of political uncertainty, fear, and complete disregard for humanity, how do we make the time to care for ourselves? 2018, strengthening the writer's core through movement. The theme this year was connected to writing through grief, writing the hard things. How do we get out of our heads and into our hearts? How do we use our body to tell the story? Strengthening your writer's core was centered on sharing and creating healthy practices of tending to our bodies as we tend to the work. 2019, the writer's journey for survival, connecting to wellness and moving towards wholeness.
So the 4th of July,
Yay! The doctoral program. So I've been in different spaces. So now that I'm culminating my doctoral program, my intention is to culminate my work.
This was our battle cry. Our "we will not be silenced." Women of color writers, specifically Black, Brown, Indigenous, Asian, and queer writers, have always been at the helm of advocating for our communities, for our people, for our families. Yet, who advocates for them? Who advocates for us? 2020, virtual Sankofa Sisterhood Writers Retreat. We should have titled that year, "Save Yourself." The beauty of that Sankofa was that it was absolutely free. 47 women of color writers said yes and showed up virtually to be in community and honor our yearly pilgrimage. And then 2021 came, the year Sankofa was canceled. This is the year that I decide to leave my life in the United States, pack up, and rematriate to the Dominican Republic. This beautiful aerial view is of El Santuario and Ogun's house, the land that I purchased for us to one day gather. This is what Virginia Woolf meant when she said, "a place of our own." Protecting the spirit, protecting the craft. This would be our first international retreat in the Dominican Republic. Naira Waheed writes, "If the ocean can calm itself, so can you. We are both salt water mixed with air." The theme, protecting the spirit, protecting the craft, was in direct response to the first year that I would throw myself into a foreign country and community where I never lived prior, to see if my magic traveled across the ocean. The answer is yes. During a span of 3 days, close to 20 writers and artists came together to share, create, and build with one another. We held writing workshops at El Santuario. We wrote at the beach. It was our first in-person retreat after the lockdown, and it was wonderful to see writers flying in from all over the US, all over the world, and have facilitators and writers who participated from the island. This first Sankofa Sisterhood Writers Retreat in the Dominican Republic gave us a glimpse of where Sankofa came from and where we are headed. We are thrilled to invite you to our 9th annual Sankofa Sisterhood Writers Retreat, Silencing the Imposter and Trusting the Writer. It will be held in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, from August 25th through August 30th, 2023. This retreat is for women of color, writers who need time and space to write, women who need a break to nourish their creativity, body, mind, and soul, writers who have works they would like to complete, women seeking the support and encouragement of writing in community. This retreat offers workshops, private time for writing and/or working on personal projects, relaxation, solitude, and community. We have a private chef, yoga, meditation, and time on the beach, daily sister circles, and our infamous closing night open mic. This 6-day, 5-night retreat for women of color writers gives you the opportunity to spend time with your craft in the company of other writers.
It is said that in order to manifest, a few things must be in place. Among these things are clarity of what we want, trust in the process, and clearing out any and all resistance. Magic, as a verb, is to move, change, or create. It is no wonder, then, why we need magic to manifest. Sankofa is magical. Sankofa is that space and place.